It's not what you did, it's who you did it to.
The fucking nobody?
That fucking nobody is John Wick.
It was at this moment he knew. He fucked up.
With the success of the anime Kaiju No.8 and a constant overflow of their respective characters, it was only a matter of time before Bandai through their SH Figuarts line released the main antagonist, and my goodness, was it worth the wait. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, the kaijus that were usually shown were either hunky chads or thick boys, but the folks behind this piece of monstrosity decided to be a hipster and instead choose a North Korean carcass. When first looking at the head, it is obvious that Kaiju No.9 sticks out amongst the kaiju roster, as the either humanoid or reptilian head has been discarded, and instead, just like Iris, Kaiju No.9 adopted a more Lovecraftian design, as the flat surface and the thick veins make any individual confronted by the titular kaiju be frozen in fear, adding an additional layer of psychological warfare to this kaiju's approach to conflict. This does not mention the lack of pupils that makes it difficult for opponents facing this kaiju to decipher its next attack, but maybe it's the titular's large and grinning teeth that is the cherry on top, as not only does it somewhat resemble those of a human's, but the lack of lips, and when combined with the lack of other humanoid traits previously explained, makes it more unsettling. Not to mention the perfectly aligned teeth that makes this kaiju the intended target worth colonizing over.
Well, at least our skulls are not a shooting gallery, mate!
But if you want some emotions added to Kaiju No.9, there is this alternative head that this time around possesses a slightly open mouth, which you can observe the grey colored tongue and inner teeth. With the lack of eyes makes this already unsettling face even more creepy, as if this kaiju is intent on some good old child molestation. But there are folks who prefer organisms with sentience, which, excluding the perfect organism, usually retains pupils, in which Kaiju No.9 as an organism with a high intellect, where this pupil-attached head perfectly depicts such characteristics. And while the eyes are nothing to run home about, especially when compared to those seen on either anime waifus or kaijus, the overly simplistic design, while adding a layer of sentience, makes it further inhumane and more alien. That if the pupils are locked onto a specific target, there's only one thing to say to the intended target: game over, man, game over! But seriously, it further gives off the Lovecraftian aura. But if Kaiju No.9 is confronted by a foe that tests the kaiju's limits, there is this in-shock face that, with a full-on open mouth and a mewing tongue, full expresses Kaiju No.9's more worried and exhausted expression, making it the perfect face when this kaiju unintentionally harmed a dog and was brought face to face with the respective owner. But personally, I place the head when No.9 is conducting a blowjob. Moving down to the torso, let's just say that Kaiju No.9 is on a caloric deficit, in which, contrary to the highly defined and thick structure found in Kong, No.9's muscular features lacks the extra density in which even the ribs are explicitly shown, making this titular kaiju akin to North Korean rather than the king of the monsters himself. This is not mentioning the... That's my first time seeing an 8-pack. Wish I had an 8-pack. There's also these spiky horns that are situated on the back and perfectly stick out in order to use said figure as a melee weapon when times get hard and individuals are left with no other choice but to exhort to physical manners. Moving beyond the horns, the back, while boasting a straight vertebrae, is more or less similar to the front, with the anorexic body that, due to the lack of fat, fully depicts the muscular structure associated with the human physique. Such trait is also similarly generally associated with the arms, as the muscular build seen on Kong and even Kaiju number 8 is a far cry from the literal bare bones structure seen here, with the distinction between both the biceps and triceps being explicit and the hands being thicker than the actual arm itself, making me wonder whether a punch from such feeble arms can do any damage. Probably why number 9 preferred ranged combat over up and close encounters. Looking below the belt, it is evident that number 9 is incapable of reproduction, as it lacks any signs resembling the family jewels.
ないっす。何が？弾？あ？弾がないっす。
Making this kaiju less of a man than initially expected. This is not mentioning the rear that due to the lack of excess fat, making that ass less ballistic than those seen on either a literal 8 or even minus. Fuck that ass! Looking below the legs, just like the arms, due to number 9's anorexic nature and the lack of excess body fat, is relatively thin when placed next to your typical kaijus, but when placed next to your typical anime waifus, it's no slouch. This is not mentioning the highly defined muscle composition, as all the individual muscle fibers and lines are explicitly shown, rather than the legs that are usually covered in a layer of fat seen on a humanoid figure, and the proportions seen on the limbs not only aids in adding an extra inch or two to number 9's height, but also aid in number 9 pulling off some complex maneuvers from the Zaku kick to a leg choke, making for an organism that far exceeds the limits found on mankind and a terrestrial threat that shouldn't be taken lightly. I also forgot to mention the feat that, similar to the previous monsters Godzilla evolved, is beautifully rendered, especially with the complex paint job that adds an extra breath of life to the sculpt. And seriously, just look at those toes. That surely attracts the lustful eyes of certain individuals with peculiar fetishes. Now, if you're familiar with my kaiju figures, especially by Bandai, a weak point that has been a constant is either the lack or straight out absence of accessories. But there are occasions where the complete opposite was the case, as seen with Kaiju number 8, as the accompanying accessories were unprecedented for a kaiju. But Kaiju number 9 takes that a step further and the results are outstanding. Besides the previously mentioned heads, there are the accompanying alternative hands. Besides the out-of-the-box hands, there are your open hands when number 9 is casually strolling down with no ill intent. If this was a Disney film. As their true intent is to brutally assault hostiles and feeble humans alike. Then there are these finger pistol hands that, just like the name, ejects ranged projectiles at an intended target that aid in compensating for number 9's limited physique. But if a single semi-automatic round is not enough, the other fingers can be utilized to their full potential, as this multiple ward-covered hand realizes such potential as similar to a shotgun round, the multiple rounds with the projectiles similar to the metallic pellets inside shotgun rounds can disperse over a limited range, making it the perfect weapon when engaging in collateral damage. And if number 9 regrets certain decisions it made in its life and is confronted by an entity that is beyond its wildest imagination and ultimately pushed into a corner, number 9 is left with no choice but to defend itself, in which Bandai added this additional payoff arms that, by removing the upper vertebrae and adding the extra set, you can recreate Kaiju number 9 role-playing General Grievous, in which the additional arms allow number 9 to not only defend itself by using the said arms as shields, but also by replacing the hands with the shotgun hands to equal the playing field in the case of the Baba Yaga.
I want every gun we have to fire on that man.
Why do you come here?
And just like the rest of the Kaiju number 8 roster, where they each are accompanied by their unique Kaiju number 8 head in order to express Kafka's diverse expressions, the same also applies for number 9, as this time around, number 9 comes with this extra edgy battle face that when applied to Kafka, fully portrays portrays the titular main protagonist when he witnesses the aftermath of what number 9 did to his best friend and unleashes his full rage on the North Korean wannabe. And such rage is beautifully depicted through the minute pupils with the green iris taking most of the space, making it look less human and instead more kaiju. This is not mentioning the green aura energy coming off from the eyes that amplifies the anger that Kafka has vented within and proves to be a terrifying sight for those that oppose him, but not as much as shooting and shooting down.
No. Wait.
If you're familiar with the SH Figuarts line, they aren't the tallest bunch, with most anime and IRL characters ranging in the 6-inch line, perfect when placing them next to your figments. But there are occasions where Bandai decides to inject steroids into their build, with figures like Kaiju No.8 far extending the 6-inch limit and towering over most human figures. And number 9 seems to have gotten the same treatment, as our titular skinny boy stands at a whopping 19 centimeters or 7.5 inches tall. That, thanks to the cranium design, makes it stand over Kafka and the rest of humanity. Here's Kaiju number 9 next to Gunpla, other kaijus, Figma figures, and fellow Kaiju number 8 Figuarts. When observing the range of posability regarding the SH Figuarts line, they can either be a work of art that rivals the best in the Figma line, or be more or less a figure of American origins. And Kaiju number 9 may have something up his sleeve. How do I know? It's usually the skinny ones that have the most flexibility. The head, while it can look down, can look up well into the sky when facing its creator. And while side-to-side movement is possible, it is truly stiff. The shoulders, due to the shape of the horns, is limited regarding the shoulder spread. The butterfly joints allow for some additional arm movement, a bicep turn, and due to the lack of a sturdy bicep, the elbows can do a complete 180. Run-of-the-mill hand movement. The torso can freely move front and back, but side-to-side movement is a little rough due to the shape of the abdomen. But no limitations are present in the waist movement. Leg spread is surely beyond human. Leg movement is also superb. Just like the elbows, the knees can do a full 180, decent feet movement, and a toe bend. So regarding posability, Bandai this time around flexed their muscles and gave us one of their best releases, similar to those seen on Kaiju number 8, revitalizing my hope for the Figuarts line and has me eagerly awaiting the next release. So to sum up, Bandai has invested in their R&D department once again, as the SH Figuarts iteration of Kaiju number 9 is truly a feat of art that differentiates itself from the likes of the SH Figuarts Paimon and instead stands toe-to-toe with the likes of Kaiju number 8, which in itself was a great figure as well. Such achievements were only possible through the otherworldly sculpt that highlights number 9's Lovecraftian nature, the extreme range of posability that puts even Figma figures to shame, the enormous height that enables number 9 to tower over its contemporaries, and the numerous assortment of accessories that add in imitating the scenes right from the anime. The only gripe I have is nothing at all. With that out of the way, if you're a fan of Kaiju number 9 or Kaijus overall, I would highly recommend this figure as it is a must-buy. In doing so, I'm gonna give the SH Figuarts Kaiju number 9 a ranking of an A+.